I'm here with JAX London keynote speaker Doug Cutting. How are you doing, Doug?
Doing great, thanks.
Excellent. We just finished Doug's keynote here. Really enjoyed it. I just want to ask a few more questions about it. So, you described Hadoop as the kernel of the big data ecosystem. Do you want to explain a bit more about that?
Sure. I think it's really become the kernel of an operating system for big data. So it's got a lot of the elements of an operating system kernel. It's got a file system for storing your data reliably, and it's also got a scheduler and computing engine in MapReduce and now in Yarn, the second generation.
Yep.
And it also handles not only allocating resources in storage and computing, but also authentication and authorization across the cluster are bundled into it. And security and all the classic OS level features, but spreading across a data center cluster rather than just a single computer.
And obviously there's a lot of projects under the sort of the term big data. Which in particular are catching your eye at the moment?
I like Big Top. It's a great one. They're this thing that bundles together the ecosystem into a distribution, but it's run as a community project. I think it's a neat one. Other ones,
do you think that's a key aspect? The community obviously drives on a lot of this innovation. Big Top, a big part of that, I guess.
Is Big Top a big part of
the sort of the community drive as well?
Yeah, no, I think it's a place where all the vendors can collaborate on a distribution, so that people, when they want to get their new project to work with the distribution, there's one place they can go. It's to some degree the Linux ecosystem has been fragmented a little by having Red Hat and Ubuntu and SUSE, and to the degree we can start off with one unified base distribution will help to avoid that fragmentation.
Sure. Do you think the time for big data, the time for talk is over now? Do you think it's so reliable, but enterprises can have faith in it, especially Hadoop? I mean, behind it.
In terms of reliability, I think Hadoop's there. I mean, people store lots of their very critical data in it, and we don't hear a lot about data loss. I mean, I don't know if you hear a lot of data loss stories.
No,
I know that Yahoo's been running Hadoop for 6 or so years now, and they haven't had any significant data loss. So I think it is and has been a reliable store for many years. The amount of testing we do of changes to HDFS is amazing, and so to really, people don't want to lose data. So there's lots of checksumming. We do all kinds of reliability testing. So it's a pretty reliable store. I don't think that's a major concern.
So if reliability is down, what are the next steps for Hadoop? What would you say it has to improve upon?
Still improvements in. We sort of have security at a low level nailed finally, but higher level security features, getting finer grained access in HBase and in other tools, and having that be somewhat uniform across the stack. Tracking as data moves through the ecosystem, tracking its provenance. So you can look at a piece of data and not only track whether you're allowed to see it, but where it came from and how much you can trust it. Those are features that we get asked for a lot, and things we'd be interested in working on. And I think, as I mentioned in the talk earlier, we'll see a lot of advances in more online actions, queries that take seconds instead of minutes to execute. I think we're going to see a lot more throughput.
One of the key things in your keynote was you talking about the holy grail of big data, and then I suppose you went on to Google's Spanner paper. I mean, how excited were you to read that, and what sort of things did it tell you?
I mean, it really, I think to some degree I was worried that there were certain features that might never be implemented well in this ecosystem.
Sure.
That things like transactions and joins and certain things that are mainstays of the database industry, and which haven't been well supported in big data, and we sort of say, oh well, you just have to work around that.
Sure.
And the Spanner paper really gave me this feeling that you may not have to forever. It might be a lot of work, but it's possible to actually implement, to have your cake and eat it too here. And so it's very exciting to see.
Okay. It's great. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Joe, and see you soon.